It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Good morning and welcome to a live, unscheduled edition of Travel and Cruise Industry News on this Saturday morning. And it is, of course, June 18th, 2022, coming to you from Central Virginia in Bedford County. Our main story this morning is Carnival partners with MGM for sports betting. We're going to talk about that. And since it is an unscheduled edition of Travel and Cruise Industry News, we're going to do things just kind of like normal this morning. And hope that we get a few people in the live stream. If not, you can catch it on the replay. But today is International Sushi Day. So, of course, go out and have some sushi. I kind of jumped the gun on this one. I had sushi last night, which was a little bit of a personal celebration for me and the family. Amanda and I had sushi. Jean had other things. And it was a celebration in that those of you that have been following my health issues know that I am staring down an $11,000 medication, $11,000 per month, that I'd gotten down to $2,300 copay per month. So I requested some assistance, and that was approved. I don't know the total amounts yet. We'll probably find that out when I get back from my JJ cruise, 2 group cruises that I'm going on next week. And I go in to meet with the oncologist again on the 13th. But the prescription will be in hand on Monday, delivered directly to me here at the house. And so that's good news. We do have a number of cruise ships sailing today. Of course, this is a weekend, so it's always busier. In Portland, Maine, we've got Independent sailing. In Providence, the American Star. Bayonne, Adventure of the Seas. Jacksonville, Carnival Elation. Down in Port Canaveral, we've got the Mardi Gras, Disney Fantasy, and Mariner of the Seas. Port Everglades, that would be Fort Lauderdale, we got Caribbean Princess and the Celebrity Equinox. Down in Miami, the Carnival Sunrise, Symphony of the Seas, and MSC Seashore. Back, by the way, in Miami. In Tampa, we've got the Carnival Paradise. Montreal, the Zandam sails back toward Boston. In Chicago, we've got the Ocean Navigator sailing today. In Milwaukee, the Viking Octantis sails. In New Orleans, Carnival Valor. In Galveston, Carnival Dream and Carnival Vista. Los Angeles, Long Beach, Carnival Panorama. Up in Calgary, we've got Royal Princess land packages getting underway. In Seattle, we've got the Norwegian Bliss, Crown Princess, Eurodam, and American Spirit all have cruises sailing, and the Koningsdam has land packages starting from Seattle today. Vancouver, we have land packages for the Majestic Princess and the Koningsdam getting underway today. In Anchorage, we have Royal Princess sailing and land packages for Majestic Princess and Koningsdam. In Fairbanks, we have land packages for Radiance of the Seas. And in Honolulu, the Pride of America sails. Like I say, today's main headline is Carnival partnering with MGM for sports betting. But we do have a few more things here this morning. If you're listening via the podcast, welcome aboard. As always, you can access the podcast via my blog, which is accessadventure.net, or wherever you get your podcasts from, like TuneIn, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Podchaser, all of those, any of them. Just search for Travel and Cruise Industry News, and hopefully the Fat Travel Guy will pop up. And as always, since I do post pictures, either with the news stories of the day, or like this morning, we're going to talk a little bit about weather, or from some of the travels of myself or members of the Chillie Cruises family. There's always a link in the description of the podcast for the video feed, and you can always hop over to check out any pictures or clips that we may have included in that broadcast. We do have an extremely special guest on Monday's show. It's Keo Jackson, a guest entertainer for P&O Cruises Australia. Originally from Honolulu, she lives near Adelaide in South Australia. Not only has her fingertip on cruising in Australia as it's gotten back underway recently, she just came back from a comedy cruise on the first ship to sail in Australia. And she, of course, performed on that. She's a stand-up comedian. But we're going to talk about a bunch of things from Australia, and looking forward to that. She'll be with us on Monday. Because of the 13-and-a-half-hour time difference, the interview is going to be taped, so she won't actually be live, but it will still be a really fun, interesting interview. All right, I'll be back with a couple of our news stories here after word from one of our network sponsors. All right, before we get to the main story, we got to look at weather. As much as I don't want to, this is all out in the Pacific, as there's two things to look at. You've got Tropical Storm Blas now. That was Hurricane Blas. As it is moving, meandering off to the west, it has dropped down from hurricane status to tropical storm status. Sustained winds are down to 65 miles an hour. The pressure is still kind of low at 990, but it's moving off to the west-northwest at about 6 miles an hour. It's expected to pretty much dissipate by tomorrow or Monday. The one that's wreaking the most havoc currently with Central America is Tropical Depression Celia. Currently 35 mile an hour winds. The pressure is still above 1,000, 1,006. She's maneuvering northwest at 5 miles an hour. It's possible this can interact with land depending on, 1 or 2 degrees to the east movement. It's hoped that this will go on and turn west and go out to sea during the week. But keep in mind, a couple weeks ago, we had a storm that went the other way, came across Central America into the Gulf, and caused some problems in the States. So, you folks on the Pacific coast of Mexico, just watch both storm system. You got a lot of high surf, plenty of rain, localized flooding, all that stuff. I can't get into weather yet. There's nothing in the Atlantic so far, which is a good thing. And our main story today has to do with our friends at Carnival. And this was an article that came out by our buddy Robert McGillivray over at Cruise Hive. Carnival Corporation will be looking to enhance the betting experience on board the company's cruise ship. To that end, it's entered into an agreement with BetMGM, a leading sports betting and iGaming operator. The new partnership will make BetMGM's gaming systems, most notably sports betting, available on board more than 50 ships that have their home ports in the U.S. Mostly that includes vessels in the Carnival Cruise Line, Holland America, and Princess Cruises. Basically, folks, what this is going to do, as best as I understand it at this point, is there'll be kiosks, probably in and around the casino, but it's possible that they could go at other high traffic areas on the ships, like maybe outside the dining room or outside the buffet. And these kiosks, you can insert your card, identity card in there, and bet on a ball game if you want to. Basketball, football, baseball, hockey, possibly even tennis and golf, just whatever products that they are currently offering through MGM. And it's just like if you were in Vegas and went to a sports book in Vegas. That's now going to be available on cruise ships. It makes it easier. It works hand in hand for both MGM and for Carnival. First, it was tried pre-pandemic by Royal Caribbean. I've not been able to find out why they didn't pursue it post-pandemic, and maybe they will in time. However, in the long run, Carnival has gotten on top of this situation. It's good for Carnival because it brings sports betting into the equation, and there's clearly going to be some sharing of profits, so it'll be more profitable for the cruise lines. Also, it's going to make things easier for MGM, BetMGM technically, because after the cruise ship goes outside the 12-mile limit for international waters, the laws are much more liberal, betting laws and rules and taxes and etc. than they are in American cruise ports, which is why when a ship is in port, the casinos normally do not open, even at sea. They don't open because of that then would put them into the tax situation for wherever they're located. So the at sea portion and the days at sea gives MGM a little smoother ride. That's at least the way I understand the situation. Now, also keep in mind, folks, back in the days, when I did some gambling, and I'm going back years and years and years ago, thankfully, to bet on sports, you had to, number one, have access to a bookie or a neighborhood bookie. And you had to have usually a private phone number, unpublished phone number, which was a little different in those days. And it was very secretive, and of course it was illegal in most states. So that constantly you'd find people getting busted that were bookies. And I never will forget, they tell how many betting slips they found. And so then the bookies started destroying the betting slips as soon as they laid off their bets for the day, or however they handled it. But it was a very hush-hush, illegal activity that a lot of people pursued, and literally around the world, especially here in the States. That's not so anymore, as you've got the legal sports betting now online, and most states allow it. There's still a few that don't, but most states do. So, there's casinos now, and I don't know if it's all 50 states, but it's close to it. If not, some type of casino or racetrack or horse track or something almost everywhere now. The Native American population has certainly been enhanced because of gambling in many of their areas where they've developed casinos. But it's a whole different world today than it was way back then. So it's kind of an interesting thing to follow. And then us in the cruise industry, you got to remember, it's now an accepted fact of cruising that many people gamble on cruise ships and end up getting discounted cruises, or in some cases free cruises. I mean, two of my favorite people that I've been following in their travels that I've met on cruises this year, they get free cruises a lot. I'm going on with JJ Cruise. They did a whole one of their videos was on how they got earned some free cruises from Royal Caribbean. So there's a lot of that goes on. A lot of people have basically turned it into a science on how to go on a cruise ship and gamble and get another cruise to go on without it. Obviously you can lose money doing this. I mean, it's clearly not for those that have problems with gambling. It's for those of you that can do it as entertainment value. But you have the possibility of getting some free cruises. So anyway, it's a program that's going to start and be going, and I find it interesting. It's something clearly to sit back and watch, at least. Over the next couple months, it's going to be rolled out on Carnival ships. BetMGM branded digital and cash-based sports betting and digital real money gaming products. Now, I don't know what all that means, but we're going to see a lot of it happening. So that's what's going on in the gaming world and the carnival world on this Saturday morning. So let's hop over. We do have a few people over in the chat room that saw I'm live and popped in. Nikki's with us. Hot Air's with us. Says, surprise. My mower is fixed and ready for pickup. Nice day to hear lawn mowing. My guy is outside mowing right now, as a matter of fact. We were beginning to think that he had forgotten about us. However, we found out he also has a regular job. And one of his co-workers came to work sick, and a bunch of people that work with him came down and tested positive, as he did. So he was just released by his doctor to go back to work on Tuesday. I think he said Tuesday or Wednesday. So he's back to mowing this weekend. He was going to try to get here last night, but by the time he got home from work, it was just way too hot. It was in the mid-90s again here. But he's here. It was here bright and early this morning, so he's out doing mine now. Hot Air says, got to get it mowed, load to prepare for 2.5 week vacation. Yeah, well, I do it. I do it so I can get back and forth to the pool, as I've started doing that every day. I've started working out in the pool and back into where I'm getting some good exercise again. So it'll be nice. It'll be nice that it's a lower for me to walk across to the pool. So Hot Air says I have an electric mower too, but it cannot mow a thick high lawn or get a lower setting. Not powerful enough. A Tesla mower, yeah. Nikki says every tool has its use, and that's the truth. Good that the Atlantic is clear. Yeah, the Manzanilla and to the south, some of those ports down there, like Ensenada, and some of them had to close because of loss when it was hurricane, and had to move some ships and stuff out of port. Hot Air says owning NCLH, that's Norwegian Cruise Line stock, is all the gambling I do. SMH had new ways to separate you from your money. No, thank you. The cruise gamblers that lose big are potential jumpers. Oh, I don't know about that. Need to keep Jason out of the gambling areas. Yeah, I mean, if it gets out of control, it can be problems. However, if it doesn't, then that's a different story. So take it what you can afford. If you budget enough that you can lose on the cruise and be comfortable with that, and that's part of the expense for your cruise, then fine. I have no problem with it for most people. Those that have an issue with it, yeah, that's a different story. So anyway, that's going to wrap me up for today. I just wanted to share with you that story, share with you my news about getting approved for some financial assistance. I don't know if it's going to pay for all of it, but it's good until the end of the year. So if I have to go through multiple months of this, it's approved. So that's a good thing, I guess. We'll have to wait and see, and we'll have to wait and see how this does. So that's still up ahead. All right, that's going to wrap it up for the weekend, guys. Thanks for being here as always. I appreciate everything you guys do for me and this channel. And stick with me. We're going to see what's going to happen. So, all right. I'll see everybody back here, same time, same place on Monday. Or if something major happens between now and then on Travel and Cruise Industry News. And don't forget, Monday, special guest from Australia. That's going to be fun. So, you guys, as always, stay safe, stay healthy. Think about cruising, and hopefully one day soon we'll all get together on the high seas. This is the old fat travel guy. Have a fabulous weekend, y'all. See you soon.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. So if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner. Hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chillie's Cruises.